Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind happypuppytruffles. Today's Thursday, so I wanted to do another fun kind of display board or shikishi for the season. And I thought as we get closer to fall here now, and I think officially we had the first day of fall, last week, and Japan's always really cool and kind of follows suit, and the air's gotten a little chillier. I wanted to do a little kind of display with a crow just because I really like this origami. It's kind of a fun and easy origami, but the result looks really cool too. So it is a three-dimensional crow. Actually, he stands nicely on a little ledge, but you can also really easily use it as a two-dimensional piece by just kind of sandwiching it down, or even let it pop out a bit if you like that effect on your board. It's sort of up to you of how you want to do things. So, but I'll have the link for you guys to remind yourself how to make him if you need to. He's a nice bird since they're all black. It's nice to, just use a solid color paper and it still looks pretty realistic. So that's our little crow that we're going to use. And then I was going to just kind of create a really sort of abstract looking kind of twig or branch that could kind of go across our board here. And we're going to use a technique of kind of using the space behind as we tear these pieces to do stuff. So basically what I want to start off with is the color of the twig that the color that you want the twig to be down here on the bottom. And I've kind of folded my paper here along the sides so that it would be the right size for everything. And then you just trim off the edges, of course. And then I'm just going to start off by gluing all of this down onto the board. Let me trim up the edges really quick. And then I've got some paper here to use to help glue on. So put the glue on the paper here first, and then we'll put that onto our board. And again, you always want to make sure you're just focusing first on the edges being glued down best here so that we can get a good base for everything. And then you can put a little bit in the middle too if you wanted to. So I've got my board here and I'll just line this up as much as I can. And, some of the edges might be a little off. That's okay. We just want to try to create something that's as close to getting it completely covered as we can. So I've got this nice brown now for my background. Now essentially this is going to serve as the actual color of the twig. And then I'm going to lay another color on top that will look like the actual background color. So what I want to do with this is I've got this piece of paper. I want to create kind of like a tear right along the middle here. And then I'm just going to pull it apart so that I give the illusion of pulling that color from underneath to represent the twig itself. So you can kind of, I'm just going to start off here and we'll give it a shot, see how it turns out. This was in my head. I don't know if it's going to come together right. But we're just going to start with some tearing up at the top. And you want to kind of create a tear that isn't totally perfectly straight diagonally, I want it to kind of have a little bit of nice kind of bumps here and there, maybe if I can possibly work it in. I don't want it to be perfectly straight. And this is handmade paper. All the stuff I'm using today is a handmade paper, so this has a nice, cool little effect as you tear it. So now if I put this here and I kind of pull it aside, I can create, instead of leaving it just like this, if I just pull it out like this a little bit, I can create the illusion of a twig, a branch of a tree kind of coming and jutting across here. And I also want to, I'm going to kind of make maybe the base seem a little bit thicker than the top here. Kind of imagining that the base of my tree is down here in the bottom left corner. And then from here, if you wanted to, I was thinking of maybe putting just another couple of tears down along the bottom in here to create some finer, thinner kind of pieces. And so you can kind of imagine that a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and try to create something that kind of comes out this way maybe. You know, we're just kind of playing around with it a little bit really, but I'll start from here. And this one, of course, can be a little bit straighter. I mean, really doesn't really matter. I think you just want to have fun with it. This is where sometimes, you know, you can just have accidental art happen. I think, oh, that can always be fun when something just, you know, accidentally turns out and looks really cool. So you can kind of see the effect we're getting here with this to create the feel of a tree. And I'll put another one down here too. It's actually looking a little cooler than I thought it was going to. Yay! And what we want to try to do, if we can, is we've got the pieces here then. I want to also kind of get a feel for things of where I want to put it, and then I can also trim up the edge up here at the top so that none of this paper overlaps. So you want to kind of consider all that as you do things too. I kind of have a nice corner edge down here for this piece that I'm just going to keep, and then kind of let the rest of these follow suit. So it depends on what kind of paper you were using, and if you happen to get lucky, if you have a corner edge that you can keep or not. So when I'm finished, I have something that kind of looks like this. It gives that cool sort of look of a tree branch sort of jutting through the middle here. Then I'm just going to go ahead and take this little crow guy and choose where I want to have him. I'm just going to choose to kind of maybe make my guy definitely 2D. I don't really want him to be popping open too much. And really the best thing to do with this is to get the glue in there and then also kind of leave it under something flat for a while so that things will really stay flat. But I want it to kind of stay flat, but I don't mind if the feet come up, but I do want the rest of it to stay flat. So I've got this part, and then I'm just going to put the glue here. I'll find a nice little spot here for him to rest. And that kind of gives you our finished little scene with the crow. And if you want, you can put a little stamp on the bottom if you prefer, but that kind of gives you guys a look at our finished project for today. I'll have some more fun things for you guys as we get into October and we get close to Halloween. I'll try to do some more kind of Halloween themed sorts of things for you guys. Thank you always so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.